I was in love with a girl named Kay. I'm not actually going to say her name, even though, even if I said her name, it wouldn't matter because she wouldn't watch this. She would never watch this video. This video would never get to her. I'm going to sneeze. I feel a sneeze coming on. I have a mic this time, so that means that this video is going to be a million times better than the other ones, obviously, because good audio quality means that my voice is pleasant and soothing and you want to hear more of it and you want to like watch more of my video until the very end. No, but this is going to be a quickie. I don't want to spend too much time on this video because I have stuff to do. But I wanted to take this time to kind of take a breather. Like literally I'm kind of out of breath because I was outside doing something that involved first of all actually going outside and then using my body to lift and bend over and stuff. So, and I'm about to get on this elliptical right here, so I'm so healthy right now with my physical exercise daily. Speaking of daily, I feel like doing these videos on a daily basis is healthy for me because it helps me stay consistent with something, and it also makes me feel like I'm being listened to and heard by someone who is like very quiet because the camera can't respond. That would be cool if it could respond. I wonder what it would say back to me like right now. Like what would it say right now? Like, yeah, you're right. I wanted to just take a breather, talk about the idea of God a little bit. Why did I even say that in the beginning? Why did I say that I was in love with this girl that her name started with the K? Because it's true. By the way, if you're I'm so random, but not even in a quirky way. It's just unnecessary. But if you want to do what I'm doing and you want to like talk to the mic and stuff, this mic I got at Best Buy a while back for $30. It's a Lav Micro. Right there it is. So it says U1A. So and the brand is called Ceramonic. So technically my mic's name is Sarah. I'm literally speaking through Sarah. But if you want to do YouTube and you want to like get started, because this thing plugs into this and then this plugs into my phone. I have the iPhone 11. So I'm sure they have the USB-C for the newer iPhones. But going back to K, I think I was like, because I've made YouTube videos before that no one has seen and that I've deleted. Thank God for a lot of them that I've deleted. But like, I regret deleting a lot of them. But before we get into today's topic, which I think I mentioned already, is about blessings and like God and stuff. K kind of has to do with that. It was this girl that, last year, 2024, I developed a crush on. I think love is too strong of a word. I didn't love her, and I don't love her now. But I did develop a strong admiration towards her because she was very like, kind of like me, like very like artistic and just a kind soul, a sweet soul. She was funny. She was loud. She was energetic, pretty much the opposite of me. And I liked that about her. But she seemed to be too much, not even too much, because it's not a bad thing at all. I'm not complaining. I'm not like talking bad, but she was like really obsessed with, she was so extroverted that she had a lot of friends. Therefore, she had a lot of things to do, events to go to, concerts, a whole bunch of outings and get-togethers and friendsgivings and whatnot. Meanwhile, I just chill like a lone wolf. And I did this to myself. I did it to myself. I'm very, very much not as extroverted as her. when I want to be extroverted, I just turn into Mr. Personality. I just start getting like wild and like sticking my tongue out and being like, woo! But usually for the most part, I'm just not, I don't have the energy or the I guess the intention, the drive. Like there's no reason for me to get all like talkative all of a sudden and just be so like outwardly expressive and like asking people things and then telling people about myself. I hate talking about myself, which is so ironic that I'm doing this YouTube thing. But again, like I mentioned before, talking to a camera and like not having anyone interrupt me or talk over me or like react, because if let's say the camera were to react and say something back to me, I would like be quiet because I would like listen carefully to what it was saying, so you wouldn't hear much from me. I think that's why I like the idea of like interviewing people a lot, which I've done before, but I've deleted those videos. I regret that. I have one video of one interview that I did with a girl that I also had a crush on last year and this year, but not anymore. We'll say her I'll just say her initial, it's A, but again, nobody's gonna, who cares? That's why I'm saying it, because like nobody's gonna know who I'm talking about. Maybe one person or two, but other than that, nobody knows and nobody cares. But going back to Kay, yeah, pretty much I thought her extrovertism, her extrovert type personality was attractive. She loved, like, she unironically liked jazz music, specifically like, this is probably too much to say, but like I said, nobody's gonna watch this, but she liked La La Land specifically, and just jazz music in general, not just La La Land. And she had these quirks and like hobbies. She actually had a personality and like hobbies, and she liked, working on miniature Lego sets and building stuff, and she was a huge Harry Potter fan. I mean, who isn't, who isn't into Harry Potter? Shout out to the last video that I posted. But God, I want to relate. The reason why I bring her up, and this is kind of off the cuff because I make up stuff as I go along. I don't have a script or anything. I don't believe in scripts. I've already said that on other videos, but I also don't believe in genres, like music genres, because like the reason why I say that, not to be that guy, but like, what was I doing the other day or today? And I was thinking like, I really don't believe in genres. There was something I was thinking about in the car, and I was like, I literally don't believe genres are a thing. Anyways, the way that I want to relate Kay and being obsessed with somebody that doesn't really like give you the attention back, I want to relate that to like God and stuff, because whether or not you believe in a God, whether or not you have faith, it's up to you. It's a personal choice. It's a personal way of living, of being. Sometimes people go overboard with it, with their religious, I want to call it like fanaticism, where it gets to a point where it starts to feel not like an organized religion, but more like a organized cult. And I think the important thing to remember, because I don't want to speak too much on it, but I do think it's important to mention, I think the important thing to remember is that we're all human and we all fail and make mistakes. I think my thing for you, though, to remember is that whether or not you're, and I said this was going to be a quickie. Yeah, right. This is going to go like for like 10 more minutes. But I think if you just remember that you're human, and that even me making this video right now, like I'm not any different from you. I go through the same things as anyone else. No matter how many subscribers your favorite YouTuber has, they go through stuff that's probably even worse, because it's more pressure to have more of an audience, more money, more blah, 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 right? Stuff that we all pretty much should know at this point if you're a grown adult and you know because I feel like when you're a teenager, those are the formative years, I think they call it. And like you're still kind of molding and forming your personality and who you are. You're still finding yourself. So like by 25, 30, you're kind of set in your ways. Most likely you're not going to change ever. Unless something like dramatic and drastic happens and you have like a NDE or something and you just like change your lifestyle dramatically because of an event that happened. For the most part, we're all just like normal people. We all go through the same things. I think just remembering that even though we go through these things, even though I may be going through a hard time right now, you know, behind the scenes, even though I may be struggling, whether you're struggling or not, whether you're doing good or not, whether you feel like ending your life or not. I don't know why I laughed after I said that. That's a serious thing, but I think I don't know. I just get like nervous around that subject because I know it's like such a big thing that I don't know why like people want to like call it sewer slide and like what's the word for like killing that people use, ending your life, unaliving? Like that's so ridiculous, but I think like I guess that could be a trigger for people, but like I don't know, it's a weird thing, that whole like censorship thing. Maybe I guess people do it because of YouTube, but like again, nobody's gonna watch this, so like but trigger warning, I guess, even though I already said all the words. But you know, if you're a grown adult and you don't, you know, give a rat's ass about words that are, because they're just words, you know what I mean? They're just words at the end of the day. They're not like, just because you say something doesn't mean you necessarily believe in it fully. And that's the thing too that I guess I could relate to religion, is like just because someone says that they're a Christian doesn't mean that they actually live like a Christian, right? Just because somebody says they believe in God doesn't mean that they believe in the same God as you, and you should respect that, right? You shouldn't impose your beliefs on other people, or shove your beliefs down people's throats. That's a big no-no. Not only in the year of 2025, but like I feel like a lot of wars and conflicts could have been avoided if we could have just like chilled out a little bit. But you know, that's part of being human. That's part of being naive, ignorant, prideful, blind, stupid, just plain stupid. So we left off on stupid. I had to start recording on my iPad because my iPhone said that there wasn't enough storage. I don't know where I was going with what I was saying on that last part of that video, but pretty much what I want to get to is I personally struggle and have struggled for a long time. Most of my 20s, if not all. Hopefully my 30s are better, but I struggled with the idea, not even the idea, but like the reality of like pretty much not getting like a response from, you know, God the way that I want, or sometimes even the way that I need it. That's not anyone's fault, I don't think. It's not like it's my problem where like, the problem is that, you need to pray more and he will respond more, or he will respond better, or he will respond, you know, God will respond with a clear answer, with a definitive answer, with like not a answer with holes, pretty much. So I want to kind of relate that with like girls and the idea of them not communicating perfectly well with you to the point where you wonder if they even exist. Like, I know this sounds kind of harsh or it sounds dramatic as hell, but I think it's a true reality that a lot of men face with women, because when you're in the teenage phase of life, that stuff is a given, right? Obviously, a young girl is going to be prone to more mistakes in a relationship because she's trying to find herself, and women are quote unquote more emotional than men. it makes sense that she would be led by her emotions more than a dude who just wants to get laid or just wants love. So in that way, I guess men are more simplistic, although we do have our multi-dimensional, multifaceted personalities, of course. Same with women. More with women. The women are like the multiverse level of, Doctor Strangeness of love and relationships. Like they know how to get underneath and over and through and around and like flip things, and like they're just really masterful at that. I think men get lost in the labyrinth of these love mind games, I guess you could call them, so easily because we want men like an immediate, like, boom, like an answer, like right away. Like we want something that we can work with, and we just need one thing and that's it. So if you want to relate that to like God and stuff, which when I say God, I don't mean like necessarily the God of the Bible. I mean more like your depiction of him or her or it, your idea of what a God is. Like I said, I've struggled with it my whole life growing up in a conservative Christian household, because I don't agree with a lot of the things that Christians say and do. The Bible tends to be very confusing. There's a lot of limiting beliefs, I think, and there's a lot of answers that kind of have holes in them. So I'm not one to condemn people or tell people that this is the one true thing that you need to believe, because I don't think that it's my place to correct people, because we all struggle, right? We all go through things. We all have things that we need to change about ourselves or get better at, because if we don't, we can get stuck in the same cycle, the same pattern. And when you're stuck and when you're like limiting with your beliefs, you can't grow, and you get very bitter, and like you basically become a bitch, whether you're like an aggressive bitch, meaning you're mean to people, or you're a bitch where you're a coward and you run away from your problems. Either way, it's like a shitty way to live. I think a lot of Christians are shitty in that sense, but I try not to hold any bitter feelings towards my family members or people or friends that have hurt me in the past, because again, everybody is going through something. So I just need to acknowledge what I did, get better at it, and move forward from it. Not blame God, not blame my cat. I don't know why I thought of my cat. If anything, cats and dogs are like literally better than humans, although they can get annoying too. But I think my point is, like, when this is talking more towards the men who aren't listening to this or watching this at all, but I guess if someday one guy hears this, I'm speaking to you, buddy. I think one thing, no matter what, whether you're a young teen or an old withering man who lives in the Himalayan mountains, I think either way, we all crave love from a woman. We all want that security and safety within the arms of a loving woman who respects you and who won't reject you or neglect you or like treat you with disdain or not like you or hurt you or, like, you know what I mean, mess with your mind, pretty much. I think we all kind of want that at the end of the day. That's all we want. And so I think if you're a man struggling with that, and somehow you're in the stage of your life where you're just like, what the hell is going on? I like this girl, but she doesn't like me back. Or this girl cheated on me. This girl did me wrong. This girl did this. This girl did that. This girl said this about me. I think it's a matter of realizing that you're just not going to understand some stuff. And that applies to, I think, religion and faith. A lot of things you're just not going to get answers for, no matter how much you try. I don't think our human minds are meant to understand it. And that's not me saying, oh, I'm just going to blindly believe in whatever people tell me that God is saying, or God knows everything, so I don't need to know anything. No, like, obviously continue to question things, continue to explore continue to search for stuff, but like, don't kill yourself in the process, right? Don't stress about it. That's pretty much my main thing. So my gripe with Christianity isn't so much the human aspect of it, like people being mean or whatever. That's fine, because I know that we're human and people make mistakes and they're not perfect, and people put up a front, and when you mix that with faith and you try to like live both lives and like make it seem like you're one thing and do another, like that's just a recipe for disaster. I don't blame the people. I don't blame humans at all. What I do blame, or what I do have a gripe with, is using that as an excuse to, again, like using it as like a front or a cover, like, oh, well, I did this because, my God told me to, or I've decided to kind of hate this type of person because God says that I need to hate this type of person, or not like this type of person, or not agree with this person, or reject this person, or abandon this person, or because personally I don't have a lot of things figured out. I'm still trying to figure out like what it means to love someone genuinely. And I think a lot of women struggle with that too, which is why a lot of men take it personal when they say like, I don't love you anymore. Because think about it, if a woman doesn't even like know herself or love herself, or hasn't figured out what love is for herself, why would you expect her to give you any love? She'll probably give you a version of love that doesn't really last a long time, but if she's not being genuine with herself, trust me, she's not going to be genuine with you, and you're going to suffer for it because you're so obsessed with finding the answer. But like I said, you'll never find the answer, or you will find answers, but they'll have a lot of holes in them, and that's going to disappoint you, make you more angry, make you more sad, make you more bitter, depressed, and it's not going to be a good ending to the story. I'm not here to tell you obvious things like, oh, the world is not like fantasy and sunshine and rainbows. I think at this point, again, if you're a grown man, but even if you're a very, very young person who still hasn't even experienced heartbreak, or still doesn't even know what it's like to love someone, trust me, it's not like, I've seen all these videos on YouTube where it's like, I'm 32 years old and I've never had a girlfriend and stuff, and it's like, dude, you're not missing out on much. Like, if anything, it's just more heartbreak added to your life. It's more stress. Obviously, there are people who have found the right person and they live stress-free. I hope, I imagine, unless they're all faking it and lying to me. But it seems like it's like my dad, for example. He's been married to my mom, since I was born. They've never divorced or anything. So they're both doing something right. They both have an idea in their minds and in their hearts of what genuine love is. They're very Christian about their beliefs, which is not a good or bad thing. That's just the way things are. But you kind of have to find your religion, if that makes sense. You have to find your reason for believing in something. And also, this is the last thing I'll say to kind of end on a positive note, because I feel like this got unnecessarily dark. Not even dark, but like, there are some things that I didn't feel like saying, but I guess, actually, let me put it this way. I felt like saying them, but I feel like if I say them, I'm saying the wrong thing, because maybe I'm saying it out of like, I'm just speaking from experience. This is just my experience. And I may be sorry if I'm speaking in generalities and I'm being very blanket statement about stuff, because I hate when people talk like that. When I hear people talk like that, I like it when people tell stories and they tell specific stuff. So sorry if I'm not doing that. I'm just trying to like get out what's been on my mind. And like, it's funny because I don't want to like ruin someone's dream, or like what I said earlier about you're not missing out on much if you haven't fallen in love yet, or you haven't had a girlfriend. Like, sure, you are missing out on those special moments, but then at the end of the day, I'm like, what's the point of having all that if it's not going to last forever type shit? And so, gosh, this is so explicit. I feel like I've cussed more in this video, or for the first time. Not for the first time on camera, because I've definitely cussed before, way worse. But this is the first time that I'm okay with it. Like I'm not like censoring myself at all. But like, I think love, genuine love, should last forever. I don't think that. Imagine I start crying. Yeah, I think when you truly love somebody, not just when you have a crush, like the stupid crushes that I mentioned earlier, but when you genuinely love somebody, you'll do anything for them, and that person will do anything for you, and that's it. End of story. End of discussion. But the last thing I wanted to say, okay, is, and I'm sorry if I'm not being like funny enough. Not even enough, because I don't even think I'm that funny, but like, I should be throwing in a few jokes here and there, but I don't know. I also don't want to sound cringe and be like, when it comes to love, I don't joke around. The last thing I'll say is, let your blessings just be blessings. Let the blessing come your way. Again, whether you have faith in God or not, whether you believe there's a God or not, doesn't really matter. But like when things come your way that are good, that are filled with love and care and honesty and truth and pureness and like happiness and like goodness, take advantage of that. Don't receive it with any like hesitation, or don't be reluctant when it comes to love if it comes your way, and be grateful for those random blessings that come your way, because they're few and far between. And I don't want to just, sorry also if I made it seem like men, I don't think I did, but if I made it seem like men struggle more than women, or women struggle more than men, or whatever, either way, we all have our struggles. I also don't believe in gender, like in that sense. So love shouldn't come with a thing where you have to sign something. It's almost like I don't believe in marriage. But is it because I'm scared of marriage? Because I'm terrified of divorce? Or is it because I genuinely don't believe that signing a piece of paper means anything when it comes to spending the rest of your life with somebody? If I follow my parents' example that they've set for me, then yes, marriage is okay. Marriage is good. Marriage is cool. Marriage is like almost a given. It's almost necessary to, not to be happy, but to, living with another person that's got your back doesn't sound like a bad idea, But on the flip side of that, I wonder, that's actually a really good question. I wonder if marriage is the same thing as dating somebody. I think the obvious answer is no, but is it really any different, other than the fact that the government says that you're interlocked? You know what I mean? To be completely honest with you and raw, I just want to intertwine my soul with somebody else and love, and that's it. I don't care about anything else. I just want to love and be loved. That's it. So I hope you have a beautiful night and a beautiful day, and I hope this video comforted you and didn't scare you or intimidate you if you haven't been in love or you haven't been through love stuff. I hope it inspires you to also like think before you act. And obviously not confuse infatuation slash obsession slash addiction to what is actually real and true and pure, which is love. All you need is love. Ba ba da da da.
1, 2, 3, 4.